Hello everybody, this is a presentation that I'm making on transformation sequences from exercise 3E, and this is for my Year 12 students. So what I aim to do is here we have a graph, and here's another graph. Now this graph is transformed into this graph. What are the sequence of transformations that have gone to get this from here to here? Alrighty, well what I'll do is I'll kind of aim to label each of these things. Now this is the new graph, so I'll put a dash next to each of these things here to indicate that this is the old graph and this is the new graph. Now how do I go from old to new? Well, let's see. What I'll do is manipulate the old one a little bit. I'll take this 6 across to the other side and I'll divide by 2. And I'll write this down again. Now here's my new graph. Now what this means is that this new y is equal to this old y here. So I'll put this is equal to this, and this old x is equal to this new x. Alrighty, so what's happened here? Alright, well what I'll do is I'll break this up into two sections. So I'll say that's y divided by 2 and 6 divided by 2. Now let's see. If I were to list the sequences, well what's the first things that happened? The first things that happened is that the y value has been halved. That must mean it's dilated to bring it half as far away from the x-axis as it previously was. So I'd say dilate from x-axis by 1/2. And then the next thing that's happened is I guess I could move it either -3 or -1. So I could say 3 down and then 1 to the left. So that's what's happened here to change this graph to this graph. First of all I went dilated from the x-axis by 1/2, then I went 3 down, and then I went 1 left. Now it's not the only solution, but it's the one that I've picked for this particular presentation. Alrighty, let's try the next one. Okay, so here's the next question, and this is a more tricky one that I picked from the book, and the reason I picked it is because it was quite tricky and I like to challenge myself a little bit. Alrighty, so what we've got here is we've changed this graph to this graph. Now how do we go from here to here? Alright, well let's see. Let's manipulate this one a little bit, and let's manipulate this one a little bit, and we'll also label this with our new graph kind of labels. Alright, so what I'll do is I'll take this +3 across to the other side, and this down to there. So if we said y -3 divided by 2 would end up with the square root of 4 minus x. And with this one, if we took this 6 across to the other side and we divided by minus, would end up with y minus 6 divided by -1 equals the square root of x. Now let's see, if we made this and this equal to one another, y minus 3 over 2, we could start to work out what's happening here with regard to the transformations. And also if we made this bit equal to this one here, we could say the new graph is equal to 4 minus x. Now I'll start to do a few transformations here. I'll take this -1 up to or across here, so that would be minus y minus 3 over 2. And I'll take this 6 across to the other side here. So this will be minus y over 2. Now minus and minus is a plus, and that would be 3 over 2 plus 6, which I can simplify to minus y. Now let's see, 3 over 2 plus 6 is 15 over 2. Alrighty, now with this one here, let me factorise out an x so it's like that. Or I suppose I don't even really need to do that. I'll just change it. I'll just change it to... Now what's happened here to get the old values of x and the old values of y to change? Now let's see, I've reflected it in the x-axis. Reflect in x-axis. That's what that negative x does. That negative y, that's reflected in the y-axis. Oops, those are the other way around. I suppose it doesn't matter. Now with this 2 on the bottom here, that is dilate from the x-axis by 1/2. Now let's see, what else? This plus 4 means it must be moved to the right 4. And this plus 15 over 2 must mean it's translated up 15 over 2. Alrighty, well I hope that helps. I'll give you some more direction if you like when I see you in class. See you then.